In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
Half a day, everyone. Nestor LIcanto here with another edition of In Full Zoom. And this week, we're going to talk about United Airlines Aviate Academy. And who better to have on the show to explain that is other than Captain Curtis Brunjes. He is the managing director for the Aviate and Pilot Strategy for United Airlines. He's coming to us from Chicago. And our own Captain Pierre Frenay. He is the chief pilot for United Airlines based right here on Guam. Gentlemen, captains, thank you for joining us.
Half a day.
Thank you.
All right, so let me start with you, Captain Curtis. Tell us a little bit about the Aviate Academy. What exactly is it?
Sure. The Aviate Academy is United's wholly owned subsidiary that's going to train pilots from zero hours, up through all of their commercial and instructor ratings and get them started on their path to a professional pilot career and presumably and hopefully at United Airlines. So we've invested in an academy and we're developing what we think will be a very innovative program in the Phoenix, Arizona area.
And I was reading up on some of the notes that were prepared for me, and I understand that United has plans to hire as many as 10,000 pilots over the next decade or so.
Yeah, we actually believe that's a conservative estimate. So we've said 10,000 pilots in the next 10 years because it has a nice resonance to it. In reality, unless things go in a different manner than we think, it'll probably be well north of that. We think it'll be quite a few more than 10,000 in the next 10 years. So between attrition and growth, we just see huge opportunity for pilots at United Airlines in the next decade.
Yeah, and Captain Pierre, tell us about how this is relevant for Guam.
So the Aviate program is open to everybody, and one great place for people to get an understanding of what the Aviate program is all about is going onto the website unitedaviate.com. They get some information there about what the program is all about, and if they have some interest in flying, we've got two flight schools out here, Air Services and Trend Vector, where they can take an introductory flight to see if this is of some interest to them. And then by going through that program, then they can go to the website and see, wow, what are the opportunities? What could the future bring for us?
Yeah, and Captain Pierre, do you think there will be a demand here for people to take this academy? I know we've got a lot of Air Force veterans, for example. I don't know how many were pilots in their careers, but folks like that could easily be trained or join the academy?
Oh, absolutely. It's open to everybody, you know, whether the academy is more meant for people from ground zero or have their private pilot's license. Kurt can speak with regards to the military side, but yes, the academy is perfect for the Guam situation where young people are interested in becoming pilots, getting involved in aviation, and what a great way, you know, this program was never available when I was young, and what an opportunity it would be for the local kids here in the region, whether it be the Guam, CNMI, perfect opportunity to get involved with aviation.
Yeah, so Captain Curtis, what about it? What's your sales pitch to aspiring pilots?
Oh, hey, my sales pitch is that this is a very, very achievable goal for people. So we believe, and we're opening our arms to a very wide population, and we're trying to break down the barriers to entry. We see those barriers to entry to be two things. You know, number one is kind of the psychic barrier of knowing that you can do it, that it's accessible and it's something that you can achieve. And so we're trying to help people to know that they can do it and provide a path. And then the second is economic barriers to entry. We're trying to break those down also through United helping to support things on the front end. We have a number of scholarships. So as of this year, we have $2.4 million in scholarship monies that are available. But additionally, at the academy, everyone that is selected and comes through will get the first stage of their training at no cost at all. United is going to support that training through the private pilot phase. After that, we have loan products that are available. So this is achievable for people and it's affordable for people. And for someone who starts as early as the end of this year in our academy, in about 5 years, they could find themselves in a United Airlines cockpit. So it's about a year of training, and then it's perhaps a year and a half or so of experience gaining, typically by instructing, and then about 2 years at a regional partner, and then they transition to United Airlines. So a pretty direct and understandable path to get to United.
Yeah, pretty direct career path. Let me ask both of you as pilots, what sort of personal traits or characteristics are you guys looking for or are helpful in being a pilot? The temperament, things of that sort. Let me start with you, Captain Kurt.
Sure. I think people need to have a little bit of passion, right? So if you look up at the sky, if you look at airplanes, if you enjoy thinking about aviation, I think that there's a very high likelihood that you'll be successful. On top of that, pilots do have to learn a fair amount of information. So I think it's important if people have the ability to process information and learn what ends up being a pretty good volume of things about airspace and airspeeds and weather related things and navigation. So you have to want to embrace the information that comes out at you. And then you have to be someone who is going to be able to execute well on some of the core dimensions that are important to United, right? So safe, caring, dependable, and efficient. Those are our core four. So safety mindedness, people who are pilots and captains in particular have to take safety as their number one priority. Caring, though, really, really important. We're looking for what my boss calls good citizens, people who want to take care of each other, people who enjoy flying passengers around, right? We fly passengers typically, not cargo. And the captain's role, the pilot's roles are really a leadership role. So we're really looking for leaders. So people who have energy and inspiration for flying, but also have a lot of passion for taking care of not only the customers, but their fellow employees too. But I'd ask Pierre, what would you add to that?
Well, I have to agree with you, Kurt. One of the areas that the local kids can take a look at is Women in Aviation. It's a program that's not necessarily for women. It's open to anybody, and it gives them an opportunity to experience firsthand what flying is all about. A lot of aviators in that program and the programs that they have, they also have potential for scholarships available. So another great avenue that we could experience, and pilots could experience moving forward into the industry.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
Yeah, speaking of piloting, and all of our interviews lately have come back to this particular topic, but how has the pandemic impacted you as pilots? And we all know how it's impacted the transportation and travel industry. But give us your personal insights, Captain Kurt and you, Captain Pierre, on the impact of the COVID pandemic on your industry.
Yeah, so I'll give you mine. So kind of two dimensions. One is, ironically, it's created even more opportunity for people that would come into the industry. And the reason for that is we had to downsize to some degree, and all the airlines in the US and around the world did some degree of accelerated retirements, and we kind of paused on our growth plans and actually attrited a fair amount here over a year and a half or two. So we're starting from a lower base, and we're hiring right now at United, we're hiring more than we ever have in our history. We're hiring 48 pilots a week right now. So enormous volume of pilots coming back to try to get back to where we were and then embrace the growth going forward. So in a funny way, COVID has created more opportunity for those that would gain employment in the industry. On the other hand, it's made the job a little tougher, right? We do have safety and security protocols now, mask wearing on the aircraft, et cetera. So there are some protocols that we're very mindful of, and the company is engaged in a number of things to keep our customers safe, because safety is our number one priority. So we were the leaders in research. You can Google on coughing dummies at United Airlines. We researched how the particles would disperse in the aircraft. We came up with protocols for keeping the air clean and fresh. So we've done a lot to take care of the customers, and it's influenced how we do our jobs and when we wear masks and how we keep things clean and safe for our customers. So a little bit of impact on how we do our day-to-day job, but the good news is great career opportunities for people. Pierre, what would you say?
Oh, I have to agree with you, Kurt. There's a lot of opportunities, and having flown around on the mainland, the flights are full. And out here in the Pacific, we've had some challenges because of the pandemic. But once that opens up, it will take off much like what the mainland has done. There's a pent-up energy out there, and United Airlines is in a very good position to take on that challenge because of the aircraft we have. We are the largest international carrier when it comes to traveling around the world. And having the wide bodies being available, the training that we've got in place, we see a real good opportunity to come in the next, over the next year out here in the Pacific.
Yeah, that's interesting, Captain Pierre. We could actually emerge from this pandemic with some pretty significant changes to the airline industry. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. Over the years, we've seen, I've been out here in the Guam operation for 21 years. I've flown out here in the region for nearly 30. And the changes that we've seen with the wide body aircraft, we've diminished it down to the 737. And now we see a potential with the 737 MAX coming online here. The potential is it for to come out to Guam, and we could see some changes, some major changes in our operation out here, reaching further into Southeast Asia. The potential is incredible, and I'm looking forward to that opportunity.
Yeah.
And I would add, if I could, Nestor, the viewers of your program can look online and see evidence of exactly what Pierre is suggesting, which is United has launched an enormous number of new international routes. We just announced a couple, or I think it was 10 new routes just 2 days ago. And we placed the largest narrow body order in the history of United, and in fact, the history, I believe, of any US airline. So we have 500 aircraft on order. So that goes to the growth and opportunity again, too. So we're growing our fleet, we're growing our destinations. And as our CEO said, we're not bouncing back, we're bouncing forward. We're returning to new. We're actually trying to recast ourselves and take advantage of this opportunity that we've been given.
Yeah. Going back to that, the point about hiring 10,000 or probably more than that over the next decade or so, how would you, what advice would you guys give to, say, high school students who may hear that and say, hey, I want to be a pilot. There's a lot of job opportunities. How do they prepare themselves at a young age, say junior high or high school, for the eventuality that they may want to, join up your academy? Now, let me start with you, Captain Kurt.
Sure, I'd say it's never too soon. And I'll have to let Pierre speak to the Guam situation. But for those that are based on the mainland, we always just say, get involved, go to our website. We try to demystify on our website, unitedaviate.com. But equally, we have partners that are just wonderful sources of information. So EAA, the Experimental Aircraft Association, has a wonderful program for youth from age 8 to 17, where they can take a free flight and they can get a free logbook and a free membership, a free private pilot kit. So people can start immersing themselves right away. And of course, there's an enormous wealth of information online. And I say to people, just get involved and start digging in. And as Pierre said, some of the organizations, not just the EAA, but Women in Aviation, and some of the other organizations that we're aligned with, and they're on our website, are just wonderful sources of information and mentorship, to the degree that people can find a mentor and latch on to, an uncle or someone down the street or someone that knows something. I think that's a great way to start getting insights into the industry. But Pierre, for the Guam-based people, is there a way that they can dive in?
Yeah, absolutely. Women in Aviation is a big asset for us. It's really opened up the doors for potential for individuals to wanting to learn about aviation. And with the 2 flight schools that are here on island, Trend Vector and Air Services, they have the facilities to provide the training and just the opportunity to see if you want to go up, take a flight, an introductory flight, and see if it's something that you would enjoy. Two good schools out here.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
Yeah. And let me ask you guys, what is it like to be a pilot? Because, that's kind of like a glamour career. You have all these benefits. You fly anywhere. And, I'm sure it pays pretty good. So tell us Pierre, let me start with you. What is it like to be a pilot? What's your life like?
To be a line pilot is probably one of the best jobs in the world. The ability to go up, whether it's looking at the sunsets, the sunrises, operating a multi-million-dollar machine, and dealing with the people, whether it's your flight crew, your passengers, is such an awesome environment, because it's really fun when you're taking somebody somewhere, whether they're going for some kind of an event like a marriage or graduation. And when you get an opportunity to interact with people going to a destination, you can see some of the excitement in there. And when they reach that destination and they walk off the airplane, I stand there and I say, thank you very much. And they usually approach me for thank you for bringing us, and just so it really is a positive feeling to get people to where they want to go.
Yeah, and you talk about how wonderful it is to be able to fly within the Pacific. I can remember one of the most memorable flights for me was just going into Palau. It's just breathtaking, and the pilot even took an extra turn around there so we could see the whole thing. But yeah, that's just beautiful. I mean, we have some of the best geography out here in the Pacific. But Captain Kurt, tell us about your experience. Oh, sorry, Captain Pierre, you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of pilots, and I'd like to see more pilots locally. We only have 5 pilots from the Guam CNMI region that are part of the 120 pilots out here. And to bring more local pilots on board would be really an awesome treat. But interestingly enough, a lot of the pilots that do come out here, 50% of those pilots end up staying on Guam for the rest of their career. The other half, they go back to the mainland. Of that group, half of them come back, and the other group that still stays on the mainland, they all say this was the best part of their career. Flying out here in Guam is the best. And when you get a chance to fly the island hopper, what an incredible opportunity to see the islands, to be in an environment where you get to fly the airplane. You're not being told by ATC, by the air traffic controllers, to turn right, turn left, speed up, slow down. You get to fly the airplane, and that is probably the best flying in the world, as far as I know.
Yeah. And Captain Kurt, I heard you were actually out here just recently.
Oh yeah, I came out to Palau and did some diving and boating and all the good stuff there is to do. So yeah, I did a holiday out there and I loved it. I didn't have the privilege ever of being based in Guam, but I can certainly appreciate what Pierre is suggesting. I tend to fly the long haul international routes, so I fly the 787, the screensaver behind me, and so. What I would say is, the view is just spectacular, right? There's no office that has the view that Pierre and I have every day when we go fly our airplane. So it's just lovely. And there's so many places in the world that are spectacular. And, being able to lay over in Paris or London and enjoy, the time that we have there is really just a treat for, something to do in life. I mean, it really is wonderful. And then also echoing what Pierre said, we're changing lives, and we do it in a lot of ways, right? We bring people on holidays, we bring people to see their loved ones, so it's really nice to be able to touch people as they're doing things that are so value added in their lives. And then on those moments when we invite the kids up to the cockpit, before we push back and we can open people's eyes to the possibilities of aviation, there's just something so rewarding about that. So, we're both privileged to be in a position where we can help shape and influence people's lives in a way that really is rewarding. So that's one of the better things about the job.
Yeah, you definitely have bragging rights over office views.
Yeah.
Captain Kurt, you've got a bunch of different partners in the Aviate program. Can you enlighten us on who those are?
Yes, sure. We have a group of partners that are in the training part of our program. So commercial flight schools and academic institutions. So on our website, it shows University of North Dakota, Western Michigan, Embry-Riddle, a number of colleges that have aviation programs. And then also commercial flight training schools, the largest of them, ATP, is the biggest flight school in the US. And if people go to those institutions, they can rest assured that they're getting very good aviation educations. And in the case of the 4-year degrees, they're also getting a college degree. And while they're at those institutions, they can join our Aviate program. So the Aviate Academy is a flight school, where people can learn to fly. The Aviate program is the program that they join after whichever flight training they engage in, that they can then take their journey to get to United. So the Aviate program is afforded as an opportunity to any one of our partners when people are there learning to fly or are flying as commercial pilots. Then they can flow through the program to United Airlines. We also have a couple of Part 135 partners that are the air charter operators, where our pilots can gain experience. And then we have 4 regional airline partners where they would go and fly for about 2 years or just over 2 years, 1,500 to 2,000 hours before they come to United.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. and IT&E. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. and IT&E.
Yeah, and Captain Pierre, are there any scholarships available or financial assistance for aspiring pilots?
Oh, absolutely. Whether it's through the Aviate program, you've got EAA, experimental aviation, you got women in aviation. There are a lot of different programs out there, and it's just a matter of going on to the internet and doing a little research. But yes, there's a lot of scholarships available out there.
And this is kind of the most direct path, I think, the Aviate Academy, to as Kurt was saying earlier, to getting into United as a pilot eventually. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
We believe it's the quickest path to any major airline. So we've built it to be, just a rapid, high quality path to get to United, and we think people can get to our airline quicker than they could to another airline.
All right. Is there anything I might have missed that you wanted to add, either of you?
Well, I would like to say, when we talk about, Kurt brought it up with the passengers coming on board. I had the pleasure of being on the Make-A-Wish board for 5 years, and United Airlines was very involved with transporting our Make-A-Wish kids to the mainland. And when you bring them up into the cockpit, man, they're just beaming. They're just beaming. And probably one of the biggest treasures that I've had being out here on Guam is being involved with United Airlines in concert with Make-A-Wish.
All right, we've got a couple of minutes left, and so Captain Kurt and Captain Pierre, let me start with you, Captain Kurt. Give us your best pitch to those out there who might even have an inkling that they want to be a pilot someday.
Oh, so what I would say is give it a try. Even if you just start out with Microsoft Flight Simulator, start energizing yourself towards aviation. As Pierre said, go out to the airport. Try to, get yourself an introductory flight and get a taste of it. See if you have the energy for it, which a lot of people do. And if you do, know that it's possible. That's the main thing. Know that you can achieve it, and that there's a very consistent path that'll get you into the career that Pierre and I have enjoyed, and that it is one of the most rewarding things that you could do. It's just a wonderful career opportunity for people where you can be around other people, you can travel, and you can kind of indulge an appetite to be in charge of a large multi-million-dollar machine. I mean, it's super rewarding.
And Captain Pierre, you're going to get the final word. Give us your best pitch.
Wow. What Kurt just said is, I don't know that I could top that. Every day I look out here at the airplanes. It is really a love. Once you get into it, it becomes a part of your blood, a part of your mainstream. And hey, look, I retire in 11 months, and I'm, boy, the thought of not being able to take the seat in the cockpit, it can be a transition for me. But yes, starting out flying an airplane, and it just gets into your blood, and you just want to do it more and more. What an incredible opportunity. And through this Aviate program, here's a chance for kids to break out.
All right, well said. Captain Pierre Frenay is the chief pilot for United Airlines out here based on Guam, and Captain Curtis Brunjes is the head of the United Airlines Aviate Academy based in Chicago. I'm Nestor LIcanto. Thanks for joining us, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Off a day.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all again next week on In Full Zoom.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. and IT&E.